Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Top of the morning. Top of the morning. I bet y'all ain't expect to see me this early this morning. Well, guess what? I want to welcome everybody to the show. Let me check my sound. Oh, yeah, we good. We good. But yeah, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Pattern Disruption Podcast. This is the show where we break through the noise and we dive into the stories of those who've shaken up the game. Well, I'm your host, Eric Rhymes, and if you're not familiar with me and the show, this is the Pattern Disruption Podcast, created about a year ago. But this month, I'm doing something called the DCA Challenge. The DCA Challenge is a segment where I challenge myself to buy Bitcoin all month, all August, not at different times, but pretty much every day. And these dollar cost averaging is where basically I try to catch the market. I try to catch the market. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. I think today is probably about $111,000 for a Bitcoin. But we're buying fractions this month. So I committed to $25 a month. And basically, we had the 27th day. And, it's a commitment that I made. I did it back in February, and it was positive because it was 90,000 then, and I was spending $100 a day then. I had another investment that wasn't doing so well. Well, I ain't gonna say it wasn't doing so well. It's taking a long time. It was in there 10 years, and I said, you know what? If I would have put this money in 10 years ago into Bitcoin, it would be over $1 million. So there you have it. And today, I decided that I'm gonna do it again this month. So you can invest whatever you want to invest. The main thing is the habit. It's the habit. Today I'm talking about planting, cultivating, and harvesting. Shout out to you for being up this early, investing in your future. That's what I'm doing. I woke up with it on my mind. So I got I got an opportunity I got to be at in an hour. So I'm going to be really brief. But welcome to the show. If you're not familiar with me, you can find me on the Pattern Disruption Podcast on YouTube. I haven't did any many in-person interviews, but I do some satellite interviews. So if you want to catch me, go to Pattern Disruption Podcast and subscribe. My great-grandchildren would definitely appreciate that. So shout out to y'all. So let's get going. Planting, cultivating, and harvesting. Why is that important? We already know back in, not in industrial times, but when we were doing the agricultural age, that's when you had to plant because you couldn't go to the grocery store and get everything that we can get now. You literally had to go plant your own harvest. And in the Bible, it talked about planting. And it's really just about putting a seed in the ground and having faith that it'll grow. Well, that's what we're doing this month. We are dollar cost averaging. If you're not familiar with what dollar cost averaging is, it's basically just putting the same amount of money in consistently over time. And we do that with faith. I'm doing that with faith that Bitcoin is going to not only grow my wealth, but also it's going to store my value. So not only is it going to go up, but those dollars that I'm converting over into Bitcoin every month, those are going to stay there. They're not, by the time 10 years from now, when inflation hits, they're going to still be high enough to cover a $10 loaf of bread. So that's another reason why I put it in there. And but in Bitcoin, planting is when you start stacking sats. What's a sat? A sat is a Satoshi. What's a Satoshi? A Satoshi is Satoshi Nakamoto, which was the guy who created Bitcoin. His name was Satoshi Nakamoto. And so we call the 100 million sats that make up a Bitcoin, we call those sats, and we stack those. And when you buy Bitcoin consistently in small amounts, you are dollar cost averaging and you also are sat stacking. So like seeds, those small buys that we make, they don't look like much at first, but they hold the potential to multiply. If you had put the same $25 that I'm putting in now, if you'd have put this in 10 years ago, that would be billions of dollars. Most people feel like we're late to the party, but we're not late. We are actually still early. We're on the base layer of this whole Bitcoin thing. The government, call it what you want, like it, love it, hate it, but the government is transitioning into a digital money. They have to. It's no choice. They have to. But we'll get into that. But that's the first level, is planting. You got to plant with faith. You got to plant with faith that it's going to grow. Name something, just think about it. Name something, if you're on YouTube, even if you're on Facebook, I probably won't be able to see your Facebook, but if you're on YouTube, put into the comments something that you had faith in before it was universally known. Something that you have faith in. If you invest in the stock market, you have faith that that company is going to grow. But give me something that you have faith in. I remember one thing I have faith in. And this is personal, but when we had the pandemic, sorry about that, I didn't trust the jab, right? So I was willing to put my life on the line and say that basically live or die, I'm not going to trust it. And so I didn't take it. I did catch the virus a few times, but I'm still here, and I put my life on the line for that. So what in your life are you doing or done where you put your life on the line for it? You believed in it. You have faith in it without knowing. I guess we do it every day, because when we go through an intersection, we got faith that nobody's going to run the light. So we all do it. But I think we do it subconsciously. I'm talking about something that, that you do every day, or something that you've done in the past where you didn't know and you put your money on the line, your life, you put your reputation on the line. Do you have anything that you've done that you had that type of faith in? Well, that's what we're doing now. As we planting in Bitcoin right now and dollar cost averaging, we have faith that this money is better spent in the market with Bitcoin than it is in the bank, because we know we believe that it's going to lose value in the bank. So just think about some things that you've bet on that you didn't know about. But let's go to cultivating, and that's just holding, staying, being disciplined. A farmer don't plant seeds and dig them up the next day. You know how I'm trying to think of something that I dug up. Oh, for example, I had in 2006, my homeboys, friends that I grew up with, we started an investment group. It's called Global Moguls. We still talk about it, and everybody try to put the blame on who closed it down, or who was responsible for stopping Global Mogul and making us just lose all the momentum we had. But basically what we would do, we would take weekly payments that we would put into a bank, and then we would go fundraise with that money. So we went and we did a few parties, and eventually I remember our president stepped down. Shout out to Shard. He stepped down. He had too much going on. And then rest in peace to Chet. He was the president at the time, and he, some kind of way that we felt like, or they felt like, it wasn't making sense. It was too much work, or whatever it was. But we ended up dissolving it, and everybody came and took their money, and it was a nominal. It wasn't a lot of money that we took, but that same money, if we had invested in 2006, just think where that would be. Let me see, where's my, shout out to y'all for being up this early. Listening to me rant. I'm not gonna waste too much of y'all time. But yeah, so we had this financial investment club, and we shut it down prematurely. And I guess those, you got to think about those things that you, when you go digging up things that you're investing in, you just got to make sure that you got to be patient enough to let your harvest cultivate. You got to cultivate it. You know what I'm saying? That's where the discipline comes in. But with Bitcoin, you know, you practice patience. Like I'm dollar cost averaging. Bitcoin is down right now about $15,000. But you got to understand that down, the lows are higher than they used to be. So now, what is it? 111. It was 125,000 2 weeks ago. So you're not really, if you got in at 100,000, you ain't lost nothing. You know, you only lose when you sell, actually. But let me keep going. So we're in the cultivating part of this, right? So just like in farming, it's a season where it looks like nothing is happening. They talk about the bamboo tree. Are y'all familiar with the Chinese bamboo tree? Well, the Chinese bamboo tree, you plant it and it doesn't break ground for 5 years. But actually those first 4 years, it doesn't even come up out the ground, right? It only comes up on the 5th year. But on that 5th year, it grows over 80 feet tall. You know, so did it grow in 1 year? Did it grow 80 feet in 1 year, or did it grow 80 feet in 5 years? You know what I'm saying? So it's already cultivating under the ground. You know, you just don't see it until the 5th year. And that's how this is. Like right now, what we doing is investments, any investments that you're making. I always say, my uncle told me back in the day, he said, invest your money, leave it in the market for 10 to 20 years and have a doctor present when you go and dig it up, because you're going to pass out when you see how much money you made. And that's the way it is for Bitcoin. You know, people that just seeing my shows, I try to go back as far as I can and give them a broad description of what Bitcoin is and why it's different, and why I'm focusing on just Bitcoin when there's so many other cryptocurrencies. Well, in essence, the Bitcoin is the only scarce asset, where it's only going to be 21 million. All these other cryptos, they are plentiful. They can add more to the pot anytime they want to. And that's the same reason why the dollar is so weak, because they add so much money to the pot. And Bitcoin, you can't add any. And it's getting more scarce and more scarce every day. That makes it solid money. I talked about what 5 things that money needed to really have in order for it to be valuable long term. And that was, it needed to be durable. It needed to be scarce. It needed to be universally accepted. It also needed to be the same denomination for each fraction of it. And it's one more. And normally when I try to do this, I can't remember. What would the last one be? Well, let's put it like this. The reason that the dollar is not good money anymore is because it's not backed by anything that is finite. It used to be backed by gold. Now it's not backed by anything, so they can just keep making it. So it's really just paper. But as long as you and I agree that it's valuable paper, it survives. But now it's losing value. So, but let's go into the harvesting part of this, which is the final ingredient of it. When the season is right, the farmer will reap the harvest that's far greater than the single seed he planted. And with Bitcoin, when harvest time comes, the seeds you planted and cultivated turn into something that you can feed your family with and build businesses and create generational wealth. So the nerds used to be the ones that were in Bitcoin. It was mostly nerds. They used to call it nerd money. But today, we in that middle stage of full adoption. So we normally start with the pioneers, then we go to early adopters, then we go to everybody else. We're in that early adoption stage. So it still seems weird to people. I talked about it in my last show that truth goes through 3 stages. It goes through ridicule. People ridicule truth first. Then they oppose it. They start lobbying against truth. And then it's universally accepted as everybody should have knew, like smoking. They used to say that smoking was healthy. Then they said, then all the tobacco companies came in and they said, we're gonna lobby. We're gonna go to the Capitol and lobby and make all these fake claims that it's healthy. And then everybody just universally said, why would we be, you smoking, don't smoke around me. You know, then they started doing a campaign against secondhand smoke. That's what every truth is going to go through. Bitcoin is going through that truth too. But planting, cultivating, and harvesting, that is the transition that everything is going to go through. Well, not everything, but the things that are solid. So Bitcoin is just going through that. So if right now you're new, I sound like I'm just babbling on because it's so early. It's like, what is he doing? Like, this man don't have nothing else to do but talk to us about something that only 3% of the population has. Something got to be wrong with this dude. Well, guess what? There's nothing wrong with me. There is something wrong with me, but not when it comes to Bitcoin. Not when it comes to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I did some research on it. I went through the white paper, which is the constitution of Bitcoin, and I couldn't find any holes in it. I could not find a way that it couldn't work. But yes, I did. I found one way. If a meteor hits the world, it won't work. If a meteor hits the world, God forbid, Bitcoin won't work. But other than that, I couldn't find another way it wouldn't work. So I got convicted on it, and fully convicted, where I was willing to make myself look stupid and talk about it to people who don't care about it. So shout out to y'all for coming on the show today and watching me rant about something that nobody believes in. You are the MVP. I'm about to go. I got an appointment in an hour, no, in 30 minutes. But I just want to stop in today for the DCA challenge. Make sure you are buying Bitcoin. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care, $5. Spend $5,000. I know y'all got it. Everybody on social media got money, man. If you look at social media, everybody got it now. So spend some of that drip on some Bitcoin. You know, I'm about to buy $25 worth of Bitcoin right now. I'm about to boss up and get this money. It's 111,000 right now, which is perfect. I love when Bitcoin dips. When you convicted on something, it don't matter about today's price. Think about it. You know, when you're a homeowner, day to day, the price don't really matter because the house is, you get to live, you get shelter from the house, you get to enjoy your family in the house. So you're not so much worrying about the value day to day, right? But when it's time you need to start that business and you want to go take some money out of it, then you want to know about the value. When your taxes, when you're paying taxes and they're high and you're like, why am I paying so much taxes? Oh, my house is more valuable. Yeah. So that's it, man. I'm buying Bitcoin. Yeah. So we just made a $25 purchase. How many sats did we just get? We got 22,267 sats. So we sat stacking. But yeah, man, make sure that y'all are investing. I'm coming on here. It's only a few more days and we'll be done with this. But I appreciate the support. I appreciate all my people that's supporting the show. We growing. It's taking some time. I planted this podcast a year ago. I've been cultivating ever since. I'm still in the cultivating stage. I haven't reaped the harvest. I don't get paid, but I have reaped the harvest because I met a lot of different people. And I think that the brand is becoming what people believe that I'm going to show up every day. For the small people that do follow me, they believe I'm going to show. And that's like going to McDonald's. You believe McDonald's is going to be open. Going to the gym. You believe LA Fitness. You believe Planet Fitness is going to be open. That's a part of their brand. If you went up there one day and they were closed at 10:30 a.m., the brand would lose value. It would lose value. So as long as y'all know I'm coming on here every day, I'm building brand real estate in your mind. So I appreciate the love. Thank y'all for popping in with me today. I know this is not how you plan to start your morning, but guess what? The best part of waking up. Y'all be blessed. Be blessed. Keep loving. Keep living. Keep investing. And most of all, keep disrupting. Peace.